So I have written this, because it's safe to talk about it. Because what I have heard is horrible. There was a normal teenager named KIlerma2, known as King of Darkness on his favorite game Roblox. He and his parents moved to Kyoto in Japan for a job. His parents told KIlerma2 he and his family will stay in Japan for at least 20 years, and they already bought a new house. After a few days had passed, KIlerma2 goes to a language school to learn Japanese, and like everyone else, he goes to school. After school he always starts his computer to play his favorite game, Roblox. He was impressed in darkness, so his avatar was all darkness. He also nicknamed himself Number Fate, which is the name of his team. One day, KIlerma2 made a friend named Kato, who was also impressed in darkness. The only clothes he liked to wear were dark, just like KIlerma2 does. They were good friends. They always play Roblox after school, like playing horror games, like going outside, and sometimes like to visit each other's home. After 1 year had passed, KIlerma2 speaks fluent Japanese, and Japan felt just like his home. One of KIlerma2's hobbies were making games on Roblox, so one day after KIlerma2 got home he left his door open for his friend Kato, who was coming to KIlerma2's house on his bike to play Roblox with him. Then KIlerma2 started his computer to make his new game called Island of Wealth. Shortly after, his account got deleted by Roblox. On that moment his friend Kato arrived to KIlerma2's house. He went to his room and realized he wasn't there. Kato saw KIlerma2 sitting on the roof of his house. Kato checked if he's alright and told him in Japanese, "Hey, what's wrong?" but got no answer. So he thought he might be going to drop something, so Kato left him alone and went back home and started his computer to play Roblox himself. He looked at his friend list and realized KIlerma2's account got deleted. The next day, KIlerma2 was acting and being extremely strange. He didn't talk to anyone. He didn't talk to his best friend, his family, everyone in his sight. He wanted to go to the bathroom to wash his face. While walking he accidentally tripped on something on the ground and fell out of an open window of 7 floors high. He hit the ground and blood splattered all over the ground. Everyone screamed and ran away. His body was extremely deformed and you couldn't recognize his face anymore. Everyone was told KIlerma2 was dead. Just one day after his death, a huge storm arrived in Kyoto because of the schools were closed and everyone must stay home. It was very late and KIlerma2's friend Kato was going to sleep. He put the lights off and he still couldn't believe his best friend passed away and couldn't sleep for some reason. He heard loud breathing somewhere in his room. Kato put the lights on to see what's there. He looked at the door and couldn't believe what's in his sight. It was KIlerma2. He had a deformed body and a messed up face with blood all over him. He looked the same as his death. His deformed body crawled to Kato. Kato screamed and jumped out of the window and hit his head on the ground. The next day Kato's parents found Kato on the ground with blood and pieces of glass. He arrived at the hospital and led a coma of 19 hours. Kato's parents told him in Japanese, "You're awake, please tell us what happened." He said one sentence. KIlerma2 is alive. The school where KIlerma2 fell was all burnt down. Today, KIlerma2's deformed body haunts many people. People said they have seen his deformed body in their room, their mirror, or outside their window. And I believe he's alive. If you see his deformed body crawling to your way, all you can do is run, before you will be his next victim. Darkness took him over because he barely goes outside. After KIlerma2's death, he had his own shrine, where his body is buried. Never visit his shrine, or else you will be cursed. Visiting his shrine is not a good idea, because one day, a group of 9 people came to his shrine trying to destroy it, and didn't succeed. Instead, they got missing, and still not found. No one knows what happened to them. One person went to his shrine, to do research on the missing people, and he did find some stuff. He found a crowbar, a hammer, a flashlight, and a grenade. Blood was also discovered on his shrine. They tested its nut and was actually proven to be from one of the missing people. Myths were made about the shrine. That KIlerma2's deformed body crawled out of his shrine to kill the person trying to destroy it. Destroying his shrine is impossible, and trying to do that is the biggest mistake you can make. Every person trying to destroy his shrine will be missing and never found, and no one knows what happened to them. So 20 researchers were hired to find out what happened to the people. One researcher found a camera covered in dirt, so they went checking if the camera still worked, and it did. So they went checking on their last recording. It showed a footage of the missing people holding weapons, and one person was recording everything. They went to KIlerma2's shrine trying to destroy it. The cameraman attempted destroying the walls with a hammer, but on that moment you heard insane screams. The camera turned around and you saw a creature crawling out of the shrine. It was KIlerma2. Blood splattered everywhere, and everyone died in seconds while the cameraman was running and trying to get away. He tripped on something and he fell on the ground. More wasn't seen in the recording. Just in hours, KIlerma2's town is completely abandoned because of his spirit. Everyone moved to another place, and Roblox crashed over many places on Earth. The reason is unknown. But I know why. KIlerma2 is the reason, and he might do worse.